So this is the Lenovo Edge SE450 server from Lenovo. It's a beast. It's got a what has it got in here? It's got I know it's got 512 mega RAM and has a 24 core Xeon Gold CPU in it, and it's a powerful little beast. And today what we're going to do is we're going to install Proxmox version 9 onto this unit so I can start getting my feet wet with Proxmox. But in order to do that, I'm too lazy to get up and go plug in a USB key. So what we're going to do is point it to a file on my computer here and mount it like it was local. And we'll wait for that to come back, and then we'll close that window. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and power this unit on. And then get ready to press the F12 key. Once it comes up here, you'll see a list of options along the bottom. Now, this is the beauty of using an enterprise level server. You have this built in. Otherwise, I would need something, connected to this device that not only allows me to remotely connect to it, but to remotely power it on and reset it, and that kind of thing. So I need to press F12 to boot off of the USB or off the remote USB, and you see it's changed now to blue. I can go ahead and close that, and then we'll just wait for this to come up. All right, so we're at the boot screen now. So now I need to come down, arrow down, and I'm going to select the UEFI XCC Virtual Media 039, what this thing says on the screen. And that should be the remote media that I've mounted on my machine, the ISO, if that makes sense. So we'll hit enter. And keep in mind when you're doing this over the network, for whatever reason, they like to put 100 meg or 10 meg network cards on these like iDRAC or ILO controllers, whatever the hell they call these remote controllers, and it's not really the fastest. I would have been better off to have created a USB key and walk over to the server. The problem is I didn't have one available. So I'm going to go ahead and install Proxmox VE Graphical. All right, so we're up to the end user license agreement. This took a little bit of time, and sometimes it's going to, especially when you're doing it remotely. I'm just going to agree. Now, I got to be very careful here. I have a lot of drives in this machine. I have, as you will see here, I have the NVMe 0N1, which is a 900 gig. I have the NVMe 1N1, which is 465 gig. And then I have a couple of 223 gig not virtual, but SSD drives. And so that's what I'm going to choose, is this dev SDA to boot off of. And I want it to install onto that drive. So be careful, be mindful when you're installing it. I'm going to choose Chicago as my time zone. Enter my super ultimate secret password, and do yourself a favor and put your email address down here. Okay, now to give it a name, so this is the SE450, and ujp.local. We'll make it a member of that domain. I think this one is going to be, now you notice on the, pay attention where it says management interface. That's not the one we want to use. We want to use this one, the green one. There we go. And we want to change that to, I think it's 25. The SE450 is going to be at 25. The gateway is correct, and that is my internal DNS server running Microsoft DNS on a Windows server. So I'm going to click next, and I'm not going to automatically reboot. I'm going to manually do that. I'm going to go ahead and click on install, and this will take some time, and we'll come back when that's done. All right, well, according to the screen right here in front of me, it's ready to go. So now we need to log into the interface, so let's do that. All right, so we're at the login screen. We're going to log in with our super secret password. There we go. We're logged in. And this should be version 9 something. Yeah, 9.0.3. You see the rest. So, housekeeping. Some of the first things I like to do on here. One, we need to get some local storage set up so we can create some virtual machines. But before that, we need to add our storage. And a couple of items I like to add are ISO storage using NFS. I have a share on my Synology NAS, so I need to know the address of my Synology NAS. And then I need to know the NFS share. And that is that. And I'm going to change this to ISO images and enable it. And let's click on add. And then I should have my ISO folder. The other one I like to add is another NFS share. And we'll just call this backups. And that is again on my Synology NAS at 5.3. And it's an NFS share called backups. And the only thing it's going to contain are backups. And add that. All right, so we're good. So now we see the ISO. We should see the images. There they are. And the backups, we should see the images on there. And we do. Now, the next thing we need to do is to add some local storage. So I have lots of disks out here. But specifically, I want to add this 1 terabyte drive here. So I'm going to, this is the one we booted off of right here. So I'm going to wipe this disk. And then I'm going to set that up as a directory. That's just the easiest down and dirty, quick way to do it. So we're going to add this 1 terabyte drive, extended 4, and we'll just call it TB1-1. And we'll click on create, and that should give us some local storage to then store our virtual machines. Now, the other things I like to do are to get my repositories, and not my suppositories, but my repositories in order, specifically on the updates, and then get my updates done and whatnot. But I've come across a new script, and it was one of the reasons I wanted to set up this machine with a clean load of 9, because 1, I haven't used it, and 2, I'm interested in trying out these scripts called ProxMenu. Now, I don't know a lot about this, and you should be careful whenever you try to download and install a script, especially on Proxmox. I'm only doing this in a sandboxed environment in a work, where we have a lab and can easily do this and do it without fear of infecting the rest of our network if, God forbid, something were to happen. The point is that I need to install this script. So basically, you're just going to copy this, come over here to the command line of Proxmox, paste it there, and hope for the best and hit enter. And so what it's going to go out and do is ask you if you want to run the normal version. That's the only option we have, so we're going to tell it okay. So now it tells us right here. Now this is where my confusion comes in, because if you look here on the installation, it shows you different screens. So fair enough, they haven't updated their installation instructions yet. But on the screen here, it tells you it's going to install Dialog, curl, JQ, ProxMenu core files, and ProxMenu monitor. Okay, so it gives us a bunch of, we get a web dashboard on port 8008. Well, that's handy because I didn't notice that before. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. There we go. And save that for later. Yeah, because I didn't know about this web dashboard. It helps when you read, huh? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tell it proceed with the installation. Now, this is going to take a certain amount of time. Now, what I was unclear of, it's doing its thing, and then we'll see what happens next. So it's installing all 4 of the things it said it was going to install. And then it tells you to run ProxMenu, you simply execute this command in the console or the terminal menu. But I can also go to this site here. See if I can copy that. Let's see what it shows us. Okay, welcome to ProxMenu Monitor. All right. Next. 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 Get started. Okay, well, this is nice. It's a nice little clean interface. Tells us network stats, storage stats. It sees our LXC VM storage. Gives us system information, what version we're on. There's an update, tells us there's an update available. Tells us the number of CPU threads, physical disks, network interfaces, network activity, memory usage. And then I assume I can go over here to storage. Yeah, and it tells me all about my backup storage, my network. I like the smart status. That's really handy. I like that. Except it doesn't give it on SDC or SDD. Probably because there are no SDC or SDDs. I don't know. It's doing it on those NVMEs and these NVMEs and even giving us the temperature. We're going to have to fix that. That's in communist units, not in freedom units. Network. Oh, it'll tell us all the VMs and LXCs. It'll tell us what hardware is in there. Oh yeah, the motherboard manufacturer, Lenovo. It identifies it. The BIOS is a little old, but... And then it's got all the thermal monitoring. Wow, this is a pretty nice little system here. Then it tells us all the PCI devices. That is a very nice interface. So kudos to the Proxmox, ProxMenu Monitor people. That's really nice. I'm sure there's somewhere in here where I can go tell it how to display things, whether in communist or freedom units, that kind of thing. I'll figure it out later, but yeah, it's a nice little interface. So if we come back to the post-install script and just go to overview, it really, it's not clear. I'll show you. Showing's better than telling. So this is what it says about all the stuff, and you can go down on each one and go to basic settings, system, virtualization, etc., etc. However, when you come over here and you run menu, you'll see settings, hardware, create VM, disk and storage manager. Okay, I guess it's close. But if I'm looking at basic settings, I don't see basic settings. I don't see what they see. If I go to, let me go up there and hit enter, I see this. Customizable post-installation, automated post-installation, uninstall optimizations, and then I have the Proxmox VE post-install helper scripts, or the X-Shock Proxmox post-install. And it's not real clear. It shows that this script is primarily based on Extreme Shock scripts for working with optimizing Proxmox and the post-install scripts from Proxmox VE. And it says the script contains 10 main categories. So when they're saying the script includes 10 main categories, are they referring to, well, let's see. Are they referring to this? Or are they referring, I don't know why my USB is suddenly going crazy, pardon me. Or do they mean this? I don't understand. So, If I go to automated, then it clearly outlines what's going to happen. It's going to configure the free repositories and upgrade the system. It disables the enterprise repo, which is something you want to do. It'll optionally remove the subscription banner. Well, I don't care, but it doesn't work. You'll see that here. It works for a little while and doesn't work. It's going to optimize memory, kernel, and network for better performance and stability, whatever that means. I wish it would tell me a little bit more about how that happens, but the only place I see that is here, and it's not, again, they just kind of gloss over this whole script and exactly what it is that it does. Now, I can easily come back here and uninstall the optimizations, it says. So there's none detected to uninstall. Or I can come up here and do them manually. So let's try the automated post install script. It's going to do all these things. And it says all changes are reversible using the ProxMenu uninstaller. So I'm going to take them at their word. I'm just going to go yes, and I'm going to let this run. Now this is going to take however long it takes. Yes, I do want to proceed with the system update. So it shows me it's going to take me from 9.0.3 to 9.0.11. There are 88 package updates and 11 security updates. Yes, I want to proceed, and we'll let this run. All right, so it's installed that. Now it's asking us, do we want to remove the subscription banner from the web interface for PV9? And we'll tell it, it says removing the subscription banner may cause issues in the web interface after a future update. If this happens, you can restore the backup from the subscription banner removal option in the uninstall optimizations. All right, we're just going to go ahead and accept it. We're going to tell it yes. There we go. And it's applying the banner patch. And it's doing a bunch of other things. So, subscription banner removed, desktop and mobile UI patched. Okay, some changes require a reboot. Do you want to restart now? Oh, sure. Why not? In for a penny, in for a pound. And it looks like it's rebooting. All right, so we've survived a reboot, and the monitor has come back up on its own. And if we come down here to system information, we will see that we are now on 9.0.11, and the kernel version is 6.14.11-4. And we can now come over to our menu item here, or to our main menu here on Proxmox. And you notice our prompt has changed. So that's another thing it does. It pretties that up. Now, the question is, what has it done to the underlying system? So let's go to repositories, not suppositories, and look. And so it looks like the enterprise has been removed or suspended. And it looks like these are both enabled, the Debian Trixie updates and the security updates. Then the no subscription updates have been enabled. Oh, Ceph Squid. I don't see the non-subscription for Squid, for Ceph and Squid. But, of course, it didn't ask about that. So I wonder what other tweaks it's made under the hood. There's something else I need to do. Now, right now, I don't have any video cards in here, but when I do have a video card in here, I need to have something called IOMMU enabled. So what I wanted to do was see if this program could take care of that for me. So let's run menu, and let's go back to the settings post install, and let's go to uninstall optimizations and see. Okay, good. So this tells you everything it did install. So the subscription banner removal. So my point is I can remove any one of these now that I want to, that might be causing me some issues. But these are all the ones that have been loaded. So I'm going to click on cancel. Now, if I go to customizable, I'm looking for, well, I think I want to install common system utilities. If I hit enter on there, it does nothing. I'm gonna hit the space bar to select that. We've already got it synchronizing time automatically. We already did these. That was part of the automatic. And here we go. Enable VFIO IOMMU support. And interface names, AutoZ. None of these others really matter to me. But I can go down and select any one of them. So I'm just going to do OK. And then these are the utilities it's asked me if I want to install. So this is more in line with this menu here, where it comes to basic, and you can select your install utilities. So if you're not sure what any of these utilities do, like there are a few like HTOP, BTOP, iLoad. I'm going to use IFTOP. I'm going to do IOTOP. Yeah, I'm going to do a bunch of these, but this will explain it to you what these are. So I know I want to do HTOP, BTOP, IFTOP, this one. I don't have an Intel GPU on there, so I'm not going to worry about this right now. I want to do the iptraf.ng. I don't know what stress terminal UI is. I'll have to look at that. And I think that's all I'm going to do. No, I'm going to do the guest FS tools as well, because I do occasionally use them. And then I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to go out and install these scripts. Hopefully it's not going to make me reboot again. Now, a funny thing happened last time I did this, and that is the after it got done installing it, you see that little fluttering square with the dots in it to your left of the installing IFTOP. That thing never ends up going away and bringing me back to a regular prompt. It's kind of always sitting there doing its thing, but that's okay. Now, it is going to probably make me reboot. The reason I say that is because I enable the IOMMU, and in order for that to work, it is going to have to reboot. And then once we reboot, then we can make sure that is enabled, the IOMMU groups. Again, use these scripts with caution, folks. All right, as soon as I told it to cut, it, of course, came up with more stuff. So now it's enabling IOMMU and configuring VFIO for PCI pass-through. So it's enabled IOMMU. The VFIO has been configured and conflicting drivers blacklisted. And now it's preparing a new boot file, grub, and EFI boot. And it tells me I need to have patience. The next person that tells me to have patience, I'm not going to do that. Okay, and here we go. Some changes require a reboot. Do you want to reboot? Oh, sure. And then press enter to continue. And it'll reboot. We'll be back. All right, so we have survived another reboot. So let's go see if it actually made the changes. And one way to do that is to nano your Etsy, or is it Etsy default grub? Yeah. And there, yeah, it has. So it put the IOMMU equal on, IOMMU equal PT, and then it put in the PCI ACS override for downstream and multifunction. So if I do an LS PCI, I should get a lot of data out here. And it tells me all my different IOMMU groups for all the different items. So that looks correct. All right, so I'm assuming that everything is well. Let's go to updates and let's make sure there's no more updates. Let's just do a refresh. Make sure that's still working. And you see it's reading target packages, Debian sources, okay. It looks like there's no errors and there's no updates. So, okay. That's good, I guess. All looks well. Let's see if we can't update this menu here. Skip that. And let's see if it shows everything going well. And it does. All right, so now let me go back to this Proxmox. There's a bunch of other stuff this thing can do, but it's done the main thing. Now let me show you one of the other neat things about this. And they recommend that you run this in the shell from Proxmox. They don't recommend that you SSH it and run these from there. So I'll just run it in this shell. Actually, let me shrink that back. Oh, good. One thing it does have here is the Proxmox VE helper scripts. So not only can you run the scripts that come with this thing, but you can run the helper scripts. So any of the ones you can imagine. So if I wanted to create a, let's try to create a container in Docker. Let's create a Docker VM. Let's do that. Is it password root Docker? Okay, sure. Oh, sure. I want to use advanced settings because I want to be able to set my, there we go. So we'll just set this up as number, let's do, it's a utility, so 801. Tell it okay. And we're going to do I'll just do an i440VX. We'll give it a 20 gigabyte disk. And then, okay. Username root, password Docker. Okay, press enter to return. And okay. Cancel. Did I miss something? Interesting. I didn't see that work. Proxmox VE helper scripts. Let's try it again. Containers in Docker. We want a Docker VM. Yes. Yes. Advanced. It told me I couldn't use 801, right? 802. Delete. I don't see that working. See, I didn't see it get to this point earlier. We're just going to accept these defaults. I'm just trying to get this thing to run. And no, we don't want it. Yes, we want to create it. So now it should go out and create it. We're going to put it on TB1, tell it okay, and then it'll go out and do its thing, and we'll come back. All right, so apparently it was successful, and it tells me the username is root and password is Docker. So I'm going to press enter to return to the main menu, and then I'm going to cancel out of that, and that, and exit. And then we can close this window. And then we should see that there is a Docker image now created. And that looks good. So it's got the boot disk size to 10 gig. Let's just let's go out here and see if it'll boot up. If it actually works. It's going to load Debian. That's a good sign. It's always a good sign when it's going to load Debian. My favorite Flavor of Linux is Debian. All right, so root. I bet you it doesn't have a password at all. I'd have been right on that one. There is no password. So let's go see if it enabled the guest tools. It looks like it has. I think they're enabled by default on Debian, the guest tools, as part of the, the QEMU guest agent, that kind of thing. Hardware, got that right. We can go to options and see if the guest agent, yeah, it is enabled. Good. So they do that by default. So here's my Docker VM. I could probably install Portainer on here now at the command line if I wanted to. All right, so if we come back here to the Prox menu monitor now and go to storage, we should see all of our storage in there. Our network settings. Let's see if it sees the virtual machines. Yeah, so it sees the virtual machine, Docker ID, how much memory it's using. Yeah, it's very, this is a very helpful little interface here. I really like this. It's very simple. I don't think you can create any virtual machines here. I think it's just to monitor it, so that's okay. I don't need to create them here. I have this interface.
I've been watching old Unky Joe. From Texas heat to where the cacti grow. Fixing server, solar power in the land. Hoping that his plans all stand. Making life a touch more bright underneath those southern lights.